As we all know, we are now in the middle of a pandemic. The coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID 19, is spreading rapidly throughout the world and is very dangerous. Today, I am going to talk about something that can help slow down this infectious virus and keep us all safe. After personally being affected by this virus, I believe I've made myself credible on the topic that I want to talk about, and that is social distancing. And because of how dangerous this virus is, social distancing has become more important ever than ever to practice. Now I'm going to explain what social distancing actually is. The definition of it is the definition of social distancing is deliberately increasing the physical spaces between people to avoid spreading illness, and that is according to the American Red Cross. So in layman's terms, it's basically making sure you stay away from people so you don't end up accidentally getting sick or getting them sick. And one easy way to avoid this, it, one easy method of social distancing is to do the 6 foot rule. In an article by the CDC, they recommend maintaining at least 6 feet between individuals when you're out shopping or you're out in a public area. So just make sure you stay away from people at least to 6 feet to guarantee your own safety and the safety of the person next to you. Social distancing is becoming much more practiced because now governments are forcing people to do it. Governments around the world are shutting down their cities basically and all their commerce to make sure people stay inside. The United States right now, we're having essential workers only stay at their jobs. If your job is not essential, you don't have to go to work now. They're canceling sports leagues entirely. They're making sure like any celebrations or events that had their like large followings are canceled. They're basically making sure that if a crowd of people will be gathered at the event, then you can't go to it, is essentially what they're doing. And according to Johns Hopkins Medicine, canceling events that are likely to draw crowds is a perfect example of social and physical distancing. Because in those gigantic crowds, one sneeze or one cough could spread the disease rapidly. And with the coronavirus being how deadly as it is, that could lead to some very, very negative effects on the world. As someone that is currently practicing social distancing, I would say the easiest form of doing so is just to stay inside your house. If your friends hit you up asking you to go out, do not go. If you see there is an event that hasn't been canceled yet for whatever reason that you would like to go to, just stay inside, stay indoors, find something to do at home, keep yourself entertained. Boredom is not worth the cost of your life. If you would like to, if you can find many activities around your house that can just fill up the time. Otherwise, it can be very dangerous. I know for a lot of people who are more outgoing people who are more like need social activity to provide them energy, it's going to be a struggle. But I guarantee that if you go outside and you go around a large group of people just because you need social activity, your risk is not worth the reward. If you happen to end up sick and end up in quarantine, then that would be such a negative effect on your life that you wish you would never have left the house. And speaking of the coronavirus itself, being how basically a sneaky virus it is, and it can stay with you for up to 2 weeks, and you not even have any symptoms of it, spreading it is very likely for people because they don't know they have the disease, and that is very dangerous because it can lead to a lot of deaths. In an article by CNN, it says cases and deaths are soaring. There have been at least 3,800 reported deaths in the United States. And this article came a few weeks ago before they started shutting stuff down in the country and before they started canceling everything. That was when we still thought it was not that big of a deal, but now the numbers of deaths have soared even more. I'm pretty sure it was at 2,000 deaths in like all of last week, just alone. And that's really high for a virus like this that you can just simply not contract or spread if you just stay inside and practice social. I'm now going to talk about the benefits of social distancing. Many people of my generation around my age, because we believe that the coronavirus will not hurt us as bad as it will hurt an older person or a younger person. We don't really worry about it. But and we tend to break social distancing. But that is very bad to do, because one gigantic benefit to it is if you social distance and you have, say, uh, your grandparents or a little brother, little sister, or a little niece or nephew that's around you constantly, you can't get them sick, and the disease affects them more hardly than anyone else. It affects old people because their bodies have been through more, and like they're more susceptible to it because their immune system is weaker than someone of my age, because I'm younger, I'm more in my prime, more healthier. And same thing goes with younger kids too, because they haven't had time to develop yet. They haven't had, like, their immune system hasn't like it adapted to other sicknesses so it can fight off. So if it gets a strong sickness like the coronavirus, it can really damage them. That can lead to death basically. So helping the elderly and helping children will really benefit. The elderly and the children will both really benefit if we all practice social distancing. In an article by Leslie Goldman, it says that health officials argue that social distancing could dramatically slow the rate at which the infection spreads. I wholeheartedly believe she is true on that fact, because you can't spread a virus if you're not around people that have it, or if you don't, or if you have it and you're not, or if you have the virus, you can't spread it to others, which is why we need to practice social distancing. That's why it is a good thing to do. And the amount of deaths and hospitalizations of people will go down if we don't spread the disease wildly. To bring my speech to its conclusion, I say that it is very important to practice social distancing because it can aid in not spreading the new deadly disease that's going around nowadays. It can lower the rates of deaths of elderly and infant people, family or not. Those are still people dying, and you can stop it by just not going outside basically. And it's best just a good thing to do. Like, being able to be with yourself will help you mentally, and it can help you physically too, because it can make you feel better as a person knowing that you are alright being alone. And I really urge everyone, old, young, and everything in between, to practice social distancing to just aid the world in the crisis that we're going through right now. And just remember, next time that you're thinking that a disease will not affect you, just remember it probably can affect someone else, someone that you love and someone that you're close to. Thank you.